So, a very good, heartfelt welcome to you today to our podcast, Dan O'Reilly from the Victoria International School here in Sharjah. Welcome, Dan.
Thanks, Johannes.
Dan, as a high premium school here in Sharjah, we know that you set very high expectations for teaching and learning. Can you tell us a little bit more about how you made sure that you upheld academic rigor and you upheld a high standard and quality of education during the distance learning time?
Yeah, it's a good question. It was a good leadership challenge for us. Whilst we recognised the setting had changed, we were conscious that the standard didn't drop. So whilst there might have been a period of disruption, we were conscious of making sure that there wasn't any disadvantage. We're aware that the learning environment changes. It moves from on-site, it moves into households. There's different pressures in different households. We had families working across a 17-hour time zone difference as well. So we made sure that we tried to transition as quickly as possible. Obviously, a large amount of support to staff, students and families. And continued to try and provide a really high quality provision on evidence-based practices. So even though they were on the screen, we wanted our teachers to be able to provide that high quality provision to support our students. So that was getting all our teams together to cater for the range of students that are in our school and some of the problems of practice they were experiencing to be able to support them in what was a really challenging time.
I've also come to know that you have had some challenges with the outage of your management system in the school, and then a very quick shift to Microsoft Teams. Tell me a little bit, how did you manage to navigate that?
Yeah, so I guess a bit of agile leadership was the key there for everyone right across the campus. So obviously the tension that was on in the region saw our school management system go down. We've spoken about this before, about the reliance of schools on technology systems. So to have that go down, that was significantly impacting teaching, learning and communications. We needed to be really agile there in how we communicated with our families, and a tendency to, rather than have a more scattergun approach, we made sure we were really deliberate and aligned in our communications and really tried to streamline that through initially social media and the emails that we could use, and then continue to build through that situation. We became more aware of things that kids couldn't access in terms of timetables on our school management system and what have you. And then we obviously made the decision. We had been previously using Zoom for a range of practices, and that had built on from the COVID period. But we decided during the distance learning to transition to Microsoft Teams. We felt that from a teaching and learning perspective, it was going to be more powerful, and also there was benefits into continuous provision, the way that could work, that it could continue back into our classrooms to a degree in terms of digital pedagogy, and it had increased safeguarding aspects to it. So we made that change. We made sure we supported our community, and that's staff and students and families, into really understanding why we were making such a big change during what was a challenging time as it was, but we tried to keep things as normal as possible in an unnormal time.
Great. I know that you also, you always maintain a very, very high standard of professional development and continuation of your staff. How did you manage during this time to navigate digital professional development for your staff?
Yeah, I think you're dealing with a range of staff that are working through their own professional and personal challenges as well. Schools are incredibly busy places, so the tendency at times can be sort of to maybe take the most important things maybe off people's plates. We gave people time to work through some of the technical aspects and operational aspects, but then as a leadership team made the decision we would keep moving forward with our school improvement agenda. So really looking at evidence-based approaches, looking at our instructional guide. We looked at the big idea that is a focus of ours at the moment in around checking for understanding. That practice, whether in the classroom or in a digital environment, is still incredibly important, maybe even more important on a screen. So we delivered that professional development with a way that still gave technical capabilities as well. So we led that session clearly online in Teams, and modelled to our staff the way they could use it in a classroom setting as well, through the use of the camera or the chat feature, or with emotions as well. So we've continued on that journey, and it allows that when we do move back on site for continuity, that professional development will continue. We'll continue to explore checking for understanding and the role hinge questions can have in high quality classroom practice.
We also know that you cater for a very broad demographic of students, from the ELC, the early learners, to grade 12. It's not always easy, as we all know, to help students learn effectively online. It's not the same as face-to-face. How did you manage with a provision, especially in the early years, to overcome the challenges of learning, and what's supposed to look like learning for early learners?
Yeah, a large campus when we're all on site, a big range of ages, like you've said, from 2-year-old nursery through to our seniors as 17, 18-year-olds. So certainly down in the early years, it was finding purposeful play and genuine human connection. That's one of the things our youngest students crave. In their world, their school teacher is the most important person outside of their family. So we made sure there was opportunities for the students to engage with class there and build on a lot of those important early childhood readiness factors. And the team did a wonderful job there. And then if we look right through the school, there's different aspects that are really important at each phase through the school. But we then look at our seniors who, they're approaching the end of the year, significant school journey. They're nervous about their end of year IB or GC scores, end of year exams. So the teachers worked really hard in supporting them with their study skills. And then obviously once the decision was made that exams wouldn't continue, it then moved into being able to coach and support them to make sure that the work and portfolios they had supported them to get the best grade possible under non-exam conditions. So overall it was trying to find that balance for people and quality over quantity. But again, like we said earlier, genuine quality instruction right throughout that was developmentally appropriate.
Yeah. We also know that, effective pedagogies require timely and, specific feedback for students. How did you manage when you teach online with your staff, and having that balance of feedback in a timely manner, effectively, so that students can actually act on that feedback? How did that work during distance learning?
Yeah, so I think for our staff that have been here in the COVID period, there was a chance to build on the expertise and the experience they had. Certainly in a digital space, the ability to use breakout rooms, so you still had that sort of more personalised environment for the students to have that rich feedback. Clearly in a whole classroom setting on the screen, the teachers through the chat feature. So there was some digital pedagogies that could be used. And then clearly we were focused on making sure it wasn't just busy work. We didn't just have kids doing something for the sake of it. We needed to keep that learning progression going. So yes, some curriculum modification to what maybe was happening on site. How can we bring that into the classroom? So Mr. Steve, our food tech teacher, he had the swivel camera set up in his kitchen and was still running live modelling of the classroom for food technology and things. So teachers did an amazing job adjusting to the situation and then being able to make that feedback genuine and purposeful. And that was also part of the reason of transitioning to Microsoft Teams as well. The ability for assessments to be sent out, the students could submit them, greater continuation again around that feedback and learning provision. And we made sure that we also had a balance too, a balance of on-screen but also off-screen, in particular a chance for students to build on their learning skills as well. And so part of that was, I guess, having those, we had longer breaks as well, so students and staff had a break from the screen and looked after their wellbeing. So then when we were on screen, again, it was really purposeful learning for everyone involved. And overall, we'd all love to not be in the situation, but I think it's certainly allowed us to develop in a range of different areas, knowing when the next challenge comes in this context educationally, whether it's conflict or rain or something that we're not predicting, we'll be able to make that transition instantaneously.
Great, fantastic. Thank you very much for
Thanks,
your
Johannes.
insights.
Yeah, lovely
Thank
to
you.
chat.